Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. I hope you guys have all had a great week and are looking forward to the big game this weekend. And no, I am not talking about the World Cup final. I am talking about the friendly game between Newcastle and Rayo Vallecano at St James's Park tomorrow at 12:30. Very interested to see how Newcastle line up for this game, how we get into this game, because we have another game in just 2 days' time against Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup as well. Because that game got moved forward, we now have 2 games pretty much back to back, and then we return to the Premier League on Boxing Day as well. So we have got a whole host of Newcastle games coming up over the next week. To add to that, the World Cup lads are making a return. Could we potentially see some of them feature in this friendly game? We know that Callum Wilson, Kieran Trippier are already back in training with the lads this week. So could we see some potential game time for some of these guys tomorrow? We'll have to wait and see, and we will get into all of that in today's video. We'll get into all of the lineups, predictions for the game, and we'll also talk about Vallecano as well. Who are they? Well, they are a Spanish side, currently 8th in the Liga, and one of their centre-backs is Lejeune. It looks like he will be making a return to St James's Park this weekend, and I think will be giving us quite a tough game. So we're going to get into all of that in this video, but first we do have a video sponsor. Yahaha is a brand new user-generated content creation platform where you can create and publish your own games. There is no coding or anything like that. It's very easy to create and play. On the dashboard of Yahaha, you have the 2 options, create or play. So you can play one of the pre-existing maps or games, or you can have a go at creating your own, which is what I'm going to do today. They have a whole host of templates, so you can go for a base template with nothing, or you can go for something a little bit different. I'm going to go for the football stadium template. Now, it already looks pretty good. We have a football pitch with a goal at either end, but the skyline is looking a little bit boring, which we can fix. Down in the bottom left corner, there is a resource box option. If you click on that, there is a whole host of different things you can change to your template, including the skyline. I am going to go for the dusk at sea option, and straight away, you can see we are now playing under the lights at the Roobenstein Stadium. And just for good measure, I also added a goalkeeper into one of the goals as well. And when you're ready to play your map, you can click the play button in the top right hand corner to jump in and give it a go. And Yahaha do run regular live sessions to help creators improve their metaverse building skills. And from there, you can take it a step further, publish your map and play it online with other people as well. Yahaha is available on iPhone, Android and PC and is free to download. So I will put the link down in the description. Be sure to go and give it a click. Take a look. It helps the channel. It's free to do so, and let me know what you guys think. I will be at the game tomorrow. Cannot wait to get back into St James's Park, and now I will be there again in 2 days' time for the Cup game. So 2 back-to-back games at St James's Park. The friendly is technically almost sold out. There are still some tickets available. I think very few tickets if you want to try and grab some. The reason I say it's technically sold out is because they haven't opened up level 7. So in theory hasn't been quite as popular as the friendlies before the start of the season, but that's most likely because we have a cup game at St James's Park in 2 days' time, and that has fully sold out. So still, you know, pretty much 80, 90,000 in St James's Park within, 2 to 3 days is not bad going at all. And I cannot wait to get in there, back in the ground. And I've said it a few times, the World Cup was good, but there's no greater feeling than, watching Newcastle play. So cannot wait. First of all, it is a friendly. And we'll get into the Newcastle lineups later on, but I think both teams will obviously be missing players because of World Cups, because of injuries, because of fitness, and generally just trying to get both teams back up and running again. Obviously, I've mentioned Lejeune already, was, a Newcastle player, was a very good player for us. Used to score quite a lot of goals as a centre-back for us, and he's been doing that again. He is technically the top goal scorer. I think he's got 3 goals for them this season, which is joint top, which is not bad going for a centre-back. Obviously, one of the troubles with Lejeune was his injury issues. Hopefully he is fit to play in this game. It will be nice to see him back on the pitch, as long as he doesn't score. Or if he does, as long as we've already scored 2 or 3. Then I'll let them off. But generally speaking, they're a decent side. They've played a few friendlies. They beat Galatasaray. So they are, they're ahead of us in a way. Obviously, Newcastle played the friendly out in Saudi Arabia and won quite convincingly. So I think this could be quite a good matchup. And it's interesting who Newcastle picked for friendlies. We saw this at the start of the season. We picked 2 teams who were pretty much 8th in their respective leagues. So I think it'll be a challenge. And for Newcastle, it'll be interesting to see what players feature. I've mentioned it already. Great to see the Newcastle lads heading out for the World Cup. Unfortunately, none of them are still left in the tournament at this moment. Possibly a bit disappointing to not see players like Bruno or even, Callum Wilson get as much game time as maybe we would have hoped. But it's nice that they're all returning, I believe, without any injury issues as well. As much as I would have loved to have seen them feature a whole lot more and get them on the ball and score, and it's also nice that they've returned and, as I say, I don't believe have any injury issues. So, could we potentially see some of those guys feature on Saturday? It's an interesting one, because I think, to be honest, the lineups will be a complete mishmash. We saw it in the game in Saudi Arabia. It was a chance to get everyone in, get everyone on the ball, give everyone a bit of game time. Because they didn't necessarily feature as much in the World Cup, but they've still been out there, they've still been training. I think they are still due their break. But because we have a cup game in 2 days' time, could Eddie Howe maybe give them a little bit of minutes? In terms of the lineups, I imagine it could well be Karius in goal, then maybe mix it up with Gillespie or Darlow, or could we even see Pope get a half? Maybe. It's tough to call. I think if I had to put my guess in now, and from kind of what Eddie Howe has had to say, I think that it will be a total mix-mash of players throughout this game. And normally we would play, our first 11 in the league games, and then in the cup games, play a rotated squad. I think that won't be the case this time round. I think we'll play the rotated squad in this friendly, and then in the cup game. We might see players get a couple of minutes here and there in the friendly. Maybe could see features from Wilson, Pope, Trippier. I hope so. You go to the games, you want to see your best players play, but then in 2 days' time, we throw out the first 11, almost a week's break, and then play that 11 again in the away game against Leicester on Boxing Day. So that allows players to maybe get a couple of minutes in this one, then go full hog in that cup game. Everybody's back, everyone's playing, and then they are rested enough to get into the league games. It's a strange one because it's hard for me to call how much break these guys need. Obviously, they possibly didn't get as much game time out in the World Cup as maybe we would have liked to have seen, but they've still been training every day, they've still been working hard every day, and they've not really had any chance to have any time off when a lot of other players have. Saying that, in a normal season, they wouldn't have that time off either. So maybe it'll just catch up with them later on down the road. We'll have to wait and see. But in goal, I imagine it'll probably be Karius. It'll be interesting to see if Karius gets an extension on his contract. Because he played really well in that Saudi Arabia game. And his contract is due to end pretty much around now, January. Because he only got a short-term deal. So we'll wait and hear on that. Right back, I don't imagine Trippier will play. It would be nice to see him on the bench. Obviously, it's a friendly game. Unlimited bench. A bit of game time, but it'll probably be Manquillo. And then it's centre-back, a mix of Lascelles, Botman, Burn, you'd imagine. Obviously, Burn didn't start the friendly in Saudi Arabia because he'd had an illness. Botman and Burn, possibly I would go for. Maybe not Lascelles to try and, because you'd imagine, and then Matty Targett a left back. And then by the friendly game, we see hopefully the return of Shaw, and then could it be Burn out on the left or Targett out on the left? But that's not too bad going. In the midfield, would love to see Bruno in there for some time this weekend. We'll have to wait and see. I doubt it. I think Bruno will be a cup game player. It'll be great to see Shelvey feature again. We saw a lot of him in the friendly game out in Saudi Arabia. I've mentioned it a few times. Shelvey's a player that I think will have a big part in the second half of this season. It's a position where I still feel we could look at in this January window. I think options would be great, and having Shelvey back is big. So hoping to see him get plenty more game time. Joe Linton had a fantastic game in the last friendly, has had a fantastic season generally, so I imagine that he will play. And then Sean Longstaff, probably in there as well. And then out on the wings, Miggy obviously scored 2 more goals in the last game. And then Maxi. Maxi has always created a bit of a question mark on are you a fan or not. But I like Maxi. I think he was in the last game in the friendly, he was a little bit quiet. And people were kind of asking, why is that? And you know what it is? I just feel like for so long, he was just it felt like at times, the only player we had who ran forward and did stuff. And just because he doesn't do that all the time, every time, the chances are Eddie Howe's telling him, take a chill, pass and move, don't do it all on your own. He almost can't win when he is passing and moving. He's getting asked why he's not doing enough. And then when he is running forward and taking on too many players, he's getting stick for not passing it enough. So, yeah, it was a little bit quiet in the last one, but I think we'll play a big part this season. And then up front, I think it's probably too soon for Isak. Would love to see him get a little bit of game time in this one. From what we're hearing, he is obviously closing in on return, so could we see a little bit of minutes for him? Callum Wilson, maybe bring him on nearer the end, but even with Callum Wilson, I'm always worried to bring him on in games that don't matter because of his injury troubles. But still, he's fighting fit, he should be playing, and Chris Wood had a bit of a back strain in the last game as well. So that up front spot is anybody's guess. I would probably imagine it'll be Chris Wood. So let me know your thoughts on the lineups down below. Give me yours if you want to. Obviously, it's a friendly. It's a little bit different. Maybe instead, if not, give me your thoughts on how we approach this game. Could we see the World Cup lads return? Is it too soon? Do you just leave them out totally and then just go full blast in the Cup game in 2 days' time? Or would it still be good to give these guys a couple of minutes back with the squad when they've missed out on a lot of team training over the last few weeks? In terms of a prediction, I think it could be close. I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. And they're a decent side, and I think it could well be a close game. And I don't think we're going to go over and beyond, and I think there'll be a lot of changes because of the games coming up. So yeah, a tight game, but still a win, and a few goals to cheer as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching as always. Drop a like down below if you have enjoyed, and subscribe. As I say, I will be at the games, all the games coming up over the next week, so be sure not to miss out on the reactions, the vlogs, and all that good stuff. And hopefully Newcastle can kick this season off with a bang once again. Alright guys, thanks for watching as always. Thank you to today's sponsor, Yahaha. It is free to download. Go and check it out. They are helping support the channel. So thank you for watching as always. And I'll catch you later.